there. I thought I would do kind of a video about my ferrets and kind of a general overview about the goods and bads and whether or not you should own a ferret. So yeah, let's get started. I'll introduce you to my ferrets. I actually recently got 2 new ones because Rafiki, there she is, she's actually getting really old now. She's about 6 years old. So she's starting to have a lot of medical work done, and she's not looking so good as far as her weight and the medicine I'm giving her and things like that. So I kind of wanted to get some other ferrets so that Ghost would not be lonely. And long story short, these guys were actually not even planned to get. They were at a pet store, at a Petco actually, and apparently Petcos, if you have them for over a year, they just give their ferrets away for free, which I didn't even know, and I just went in to get some pet supplies, and they were just giving them away for free, and I was like, okay, well, I will take them. And, you know, I usually don't condone buying ferrets in general from a pet store for lots of different reasons. One, because I'm all about rescue, and there are many ferrets in rescues that need really good homes. And 2, ferrets at Petco's usually aren't the greatest as far as people who want to start out with a ferret, and that would be, you know, their first ferret, because they tend to start out with a lot of really bad habits. So, with that being said, let's get into all the bad habits. If you get a ferret from a pet store, they will most likely not be litter trained. These guys, since they're actually a year old, they were litter trained really fast. Like, I got them and I quarantined them in their own little cage to see, you know, how long it would take to litter train them. It was like 2 days, and they used the litter box fully, and then I put them in this cage hoping they wouldn't poop everywhere, and they didn't. So it's been about a week now since they've been in this cage. No accidents whatsoever in the cage. So I legitimately just got extremely lucky. I've had ferrets before that don't litter train whatsoever, and they take forever to learn how to use their litter box because they like to dig in it. They like to do lots of, you know, they just don't want to use it for its purpose. They think it's this fun thing, and then they just poop in every corner, and I've had to make the cage where I have to have things in every corner so they don't use it, and to really hard train ferrets like that. Ghost was like that. He was really hard to litter train. So that's one really bad thing about getting them from pet stores, and in general getting them as babies. Most people get ferrets because they're so small and cute at the pet store, and then they get rid of them because they're stinky, they're smelly, they can't litter train them, and they bite because they haven't been handled or run around, and they're, you know, nippy little babies. So that's, like, you know, a lot of the reason why I just don't get them from the pet store, get them, you know, from rescue. And actually, I love them when they're older. About a year or 2 is perfect age for them to me, because I love big fluffy males, especially Spyro. I didn't finish introducing you to all my ferrets. This is Ghost. As you guys probably already know from one of my other videos, this is Ghost. And Spyro is my newest white ferret. He's like all white. And Cinder, where did she go? She's the other new one. They're probably all underneath this area in the tubes. Well, when they come out, I'll show you them. But I love the ferrets, all big and fluffy. I think it's the best thing ever. As cute as baby ferrets are, they're really not that cute to me as much as they are when they're full grown and all big and fluffy and all ferrety, because then they start to get their personalities of their spunk and things like that. So I guess another bad side of ferrets is their maintenance. First off, you definitely need a really big cage, especially even for like every ferret. So Ferret Nation obviously is a #1 love of most ferret owners. And then, you know, the other version that people can get to is Critter Nation, but really just the Ferret Nation is fine for ferrets because of the bar spacing. And I do not recommend anything smaller than the Ferret Nation, as ferrets can be really active, especially if you're not spending a whole lot of time with them. But the Ferret Nation is perfect because if you get a ferret, another downside is you're gonna have to get two. That's just, you're just gonna have to. Ferrets need a buddy. They're very social. They don't like to be alone. They can actually get really depressed, stop eating, and just not be a good pet. They can become very bitey because they're stressed. Oh, there's Spyro. He's my big fluffy male. And there's Cinder, my good female. And yes, I did name them after Spyro and Cinder from the game because that was one of my very favorite games as a kid. So I just thought it fit. And so yeah, you're gonna need a big cage, and cleaning is daily, as far as not cleaning all the fabrics and things, but cleaning their litter box. It's just like changing a cat box. You want to change it daily, otherwise it will stay there and just stink. And as far as, you know, having them as pets, if you don't have at least an hour of your day to dedicate to ferrets, they're really not a good pet for you. I honestly recommend, you know, 2 or 3 hours. I wake up every morning and I clean their litter box and I let them out, and they are out for about a good 1.5 to 2 hours because I just kind of let them out for my whole morning while I'm getting ready for work and everything. So they play around a lot. I usually have their cage open, so they'll actually go back in their cage. But for these guys' sake, since they're new and they aren't the best potty trained out of their cage, I put the litter box over here, but they don't want to keep it in the corner, obviously. Silly. But usually I have their cage open so they can just go back in and fall asleep when they're done. So that's for them. Because ferrets just take a lot of time. They're not really a hard pet to have, and they're a really fun pet to have. But people just don't understand that they can't just keep this animal in their cage all day. They just need the energy. They sleep most of their time. They sleep 16 to 17 hours. And then they just need a good couple hours to play, and then their energy's all worn down. So they will be good with that. And let's see, what other bad things can I name about ferrets? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's really all the bad things I have about ferrets, because all the rest is good in my opinion. They're super playful. They love the attention. They're very people-y. Little Cinder right here. She's a little nippy right now, but it doesn't hurt, and that's good. And she's mostly nippy because she's playful, but that's still not a habit you want your ferrets to have. I personally don't mind it, because I think it's cute. It's kind of like dogs playing with open mouth. Most people don't like it because they'll have small children, and they want to train their ferrets out of that. Even with her, that kind of like mouthy biting, it's not going to hurt a kid. I couldn't see anything other than the kid being like afraid of it. They run around, they're spastic, they freak out over most anything. They're really cute, that's a fact. They're really easy to own. You can get them from most any pet store, so they're easily obtainable. They're expensive if you get them from a pet store, and I suppose they're kind of expensive if you get them from a rescue too, but they're usually about half the price, and it's usually just to cover their adoption fee and to support the rescue. She is just hauling him. And to support the rescue. So, once again, that money at least goes to a good cause rather than just kind of supporting the pet store to bring in more ferrets to give to more people who impulse buy them usually. And then, you know, it ends up in the cycle of unwanted ferrets and back in the rescues. So, they drink a lot of water. So you constantly have to have fresh water for them. And they eat a lot of food, and it goes through their system really fast, so they're constantly going to the bathroom, which is why I clean their litter box about once a day. I I've had ferrets that go even more, and I'll clean it like twice a day, but I find that just cleaning it once in the morning is just fine. And then, because I have a really big litter box for them all, and they're so cute. So yeah. But ferrets are really a great pet, and I do recommend them to almost anybody. If you're old, or your kid, or if it's going to be your first pet, or whatever. You know, so long as you know the facts about them, so long as you know that, you know, you're going to have the time. And as they get older, they have a lot of health issues. They can be loads of different things, and they are going to get costly, but that's really with any pet, and that's to be expected. So you just have to watch out for that, because you do need to know that you have a vet in your area that can do ferrets, because a lot of vets just don't, and it's hard to find them sometimes. My vet for these guys is actually about 40 minutes away. I just don't have one in the area that's close or reasonably priced. Since I live in the middle of the city, it kind of gets pricey in here, and I just decided to go to one that was a better doctor and a bit more recently, or better veterinarian and a more reasonably priced. So yeah, that's those are my ferrets. Spyro, Cinder, I think Ghost is under there, and wherever Rafiki is. Oh, there she is. So yeah, those are my ferrets, and this is my Ferret Nation and their whole setup, and they have like this whole area to play. You're gonna need a large area for them to play. That's another thing. They have my whole kitchen to run around in. But, so yeah, if you want a ferret, definitely watch this video before getting one. And yeah, they're great pets.